It is January 1st of 2024, so Happy New Year's. I'm out in North Dakota after filling my Minnesota tag in September and my Wisconsin tag in November. So this is the last one I have. Kind of set up here on between a couple hay bales. Just kind of made a little bale row. Got perfect wind right in my face. Unfortunately, I'll probably be staring into the sun most of the day as well. But I got out to the blind a little late, but it shouldn't be much of an issue. We've got a lot of corn off to my right here, and these deer bed down in these low draws on the south-facing slope, kind of in front of me and off to my left. And in the evenings they come out from those draws and make their way over to the corn at night. So we glassed here last night. We were having a ton of trail camera issues. We have a few good bucks on camera, and we saw two shooters last night kind of in this area. So when I got here, I was setting up. I saw 4 deer, oh gosh, probably 800 yards out or so, cresting over the hillside on their way to the corn, way out there. Looked like three antlerless deer, probably does and fawns, and then one little buck. But they should start trickling out sooner rather than later. We've got really mild temperatures, which is kind of gonna hinder our success, I think, a little bit. But Mitch is hunting the other side of the corn as well, so he might get a crack at a deer. But yeah, it's a good view from here. So I see the camera's kind of starting to creak back on me, so this is like a nice slow pan away from me, I think. It's kind of a hint to shut up and start hunting, but yeah, we'll see if we can't go 3 for 3 on the year. January 2nd, moved the blind this morning to the edge of that cornfield where the deer were headed. There's not a lot of brush to tuck into or anything, so kind of brushed the blind in as best I could. Tied it down to some big rocks, and hope it doesn't blow away, but it seems pretty steady now. But the deer last night, I watched them way out there, kind of file down the downwind side of that ridge into this corner of the corn here. and Mitch hunted the other side of the field. And we had some bales set up over there that we're going to try to tuck the blind into. But with the wind and the way they were coming in the field, it wouldn't work all the time. So I set up on a point that kind of juts out into the corn here, hoping that it just sticks out far enough that they walk in range, even if they're kind of trying to cut across the middle. But perfect wind. That temp's a bit lower today. Had some fog when we were setting up. There's probably about 15 mule deer out in the field. But with it being a really late harvest this year, they cut this corn in mid-December. There's still a lot of corn on the ground. So my guess is they're going to get in here a little bit early and move from where we have the hay bales off to my right, and hopefully I can catch a big one as it files past me. But we've got a camera up there, and there's a few nice bucks, so hopefully we see a few tonight. But fingers crossed that we can bunch a tag on night 2. It's January 3rd. I'm back in the same spot as yesterday. I saw a lot of deer yesterday. Had a few good shooters come out into the field. Passing on a good 9-point. He had a split brow on his right side right there at the end. Not sure if I'll pass on him later in the week here, but definitely some really good action. They just were on the wrong side of the field, so hopefully we get a little bit of a change in that. Tonight it's a lot cloudier. We got some light snow. Hoping that gets the deer on their feet a bit earlier. They just really hang up in that corner until it starts getting late, and then they start making their way over this direction. But yeah, just hoping they pick the other side of the field to walk across today. But overall, I mean, great encounters last night. I was really shocked that Mitch didn't get a crack at one. I was really watching that big 10-point that came out, crested over the hill, and then there's another, I think it was a nice 9. I haven't really looked at the footage, but they look like they were headed right to him. He just said it was getting too dark by the time they might have gotten to him. Alright, back out in the same spot this afternoon, January 4th. We've got kind of 2 more days we're planning on hunting. It's a real cold and foggy day. The side of the blind, that see-through mesh, I can't see through anymore, but I'm okay with that, even though almost all the deer dumped into the field behind me here yesterday, including one buck. I couldn't tell if he was a shooter until I looked at my cell phone video that I tried to shoot through the mesh, and I could kind of see. I think he was just a medium-sized 8, so I'm not going to kick myself too hard about that. But yeah, I'm hoping with this colder weather, reduced visibility, that they get on their feet a bit earlier. We've got a good south wind here, and I'm on the uphill side, on the south side of this field. So looking down on that slope, I'm hoping these deer dump into that corner with the hay bales like a lot of them have been doing, a lot of the big bucks have been doing. And I hope they just work this uphill side of this field and basically consent check the stuff over the hill they can't see, and can see down into what they can't smell. It's kind of a technique that worked for me in Wisconsin this year. So I'm kind of hoping it's the same deal. And then I'm also getting a little bit more aggressive second to last night. And I threw out a decoy, so it's just a yearling buck decoy. Ears forward, not an aggressive posture by any means. Just kind of hoping. It's almost like a confidence decoy. These deer, they seem like one group kind of goes out further and the rest kind of follow to that group. And then they just kind of stop, and sometimes they just hold up and feed in an area forever. And it's like they kind of leapfrog their way out until dark. So I'm hoping he's the leader of the leapfrog. And at least give them confidence to come right out in front of me. Yesterday saw some huge mule deer, couple nice bucks. Mitch had one that, if it's a buck I'm thinking, I thought he was a shooter, but he had one in front of him. He did have shorter tines, so it helps that he saw him closer up, so I mean, that's his call. But I looking across, it was that one that came directly to me, and it's kind of wider. But yeah, just a cold, foggy, frosty day. You can see that decoy is right there. So if I come circle kind of downwind of him, I might not be able to get a shot on camera, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. We also have a bit more of a breeze, which is a rare thing to kind of hope for in North Dakota, but it's been dead calm the last couple nights, and it just makes any movement so tricky. and spook all the mule deer out in front of me. And I heard some hoofbeats. And so I was sitting there and I was like, okay, here he comes. Well, I look out my window and there's a coyote pushing him to me. So I'm like, okay, great, but I gotta get ready. So I couldn't zoom in very well. Well then, here they come. And I go to drop back. And I punch my little thumb release and just send a little blooper arrow out the flipping window like an idiot. Then I gotta knock another one quick. And it's a heavier face mask, and I was kind of struggling to get a good anchor. I should have shot with it beforehand and stuff, but yeah, I hope it was a good hit. I might have just hit shoulder a bit more than I wanted to. Who knows? It's just starting to get dark here. I still have loads of mule deer out in front of me. The decoy worked phenomenally, but yeah, the coyote, I spotted him out, and there's a big whitetail buck. There's two good ones, and they both came out in front of me and picked the bigger of the two, and I was just trying to wait for him to clear the buck in front of him and the mule deer doe behind him. I definitely hit him, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully he just piled up in the field somewhere, but I don't know. I'm shaking though. Looks frozen. It's gonna be hard to tell if there's any bubbles or anything. Those will be gone. Try blood. I guess I'll try the blood. There he is. Lot better shot than I thought. Beautiful 10. Great buck. Heck of a way to end a great season. Big body on him. Perfect lung shot. Super happy. Alright. Nice tall 10. One of our bigger 10s we had on camera here, at least this winter. But a lot better shot than I thought. Definitely got some lung on that, maybe even both. Looks like his nose is all messed up, so that'll be interesting once we start caping him out or skinning at least the head for a Euro mount. But yeah, super happy with him. Definitely got some tine length, so we're gonna get him out of the field here and see if Mitch can't get it done tomorrow.